All right, so what we're going to review today are called dynamic creative clusters. Actually, we're calling it dynamic creative clusters. Essentially, it's taking Facebook's dynamic creative feature. And if you don't know what that is already, essentially, you input several images, headlines, and ad copies. And what Facebook will do is it will present, a combo of any of those inputs of images, headlines with the ad copy in relation to the right audience that you're actually targeting. So you tell Facebook, I'm targeting this audience. Here's the budget, and it'll essentially combo any of those ads creatives in a specific way that's ideal for that particular audience. So it's pretty cool how Facebook does that and knows like who's watching the ad and what they're more likely to respond to. So they'll, create an ad for you in relation to that person viewing the ad. But what I want to talk about today is how we've used dynamic creatives, how I think that you should cluster your dynamic creatives based on, proven images and headlines and ad copies, and how essentially what we mean by cluster. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just going into the actual ad account and showing you how this is actually set up. So essentially, you see here, it's the exact same ad we'd have here across multiple audiences, and we have 6 out of 10 images and videos that Jason put together here for us as the type of creative. And all these images, there's a base control here within these images, and also we're creating new iterations off of the control. So we feed Facebook more data. We're doing the same thing with the headlines and the ad copy. So we have 3 headlines, and I think it's just 4 pieces of ad copy, some long form, some short form ad copy. But the whole idea is essentially is we're creating one dynamic creative off of proven angles and images. And the cool thing is if you cluster them into one ad itself, I think that will perform better than doing a completely brand new test, which we've done in the past before too. It's really hard to test and isolate the variables when you're putting all these creatives together for Facebook to test for you. At least that's been our experience. So when we're actually using the dynamic creative feature for Facebook, I highly recommend you use it with your proven ad angles, and then you can build on top of those, put them in here into one cluster, quote unquote cluster, and then from there, launching the campaign or scaling the campaign in that particular regard. If you have, like, let's say you have your normal setup, let's say a campaign with like 10 ad sets or 2 ad sets and then 5 ads, and you've isolated, let's say, 5 audiences and 2 particular ad copies and then 1 particular image. What you can do from there is you can go ahead and create 5 additional images based on the proven. So you're not creating something new, you're just iterating, different types of images based on the original or the one that's proven. And the same thing with the ad copy, just create multiple variations of that proven ad copy, put them in a cluster like this, and then from there you can create a new campaign targeting if it's 1 or 2 audiences or a combo, depending how you want to leverage the Power 5. Then in the ad level, just 1 ad, and it's going to be a dynamic ad, a dynamic creative. And then with that, you're using proven angles, images, and you can start the campaign budget at scale because you know that you're not testing anything new at this point. You're just testing a higher budget. And then you can duplicate those campaigns with different budgets. So you can go ahead and start testing different budgets with that particular audience and see if you can get more reach and most out of your ad. And that's the way that we would set up dynamic creative clusters. That's how we've set it up here. I recommend you moving forward. If you have questions doing this, or you've done this and you want to share your feedback as well, just tag me in the groups, and then we'll take it from here.